All right, good afternoon. Thank you for joining us for the news at noon. We're taking a live look outside. That is Hagerstown Dual Highway. And if you could see on this beautiful day, mainly clear skies, it looks like very bright out there. I know Damon Matson will definitely touch on that. But I remember those days when I was riding up and down Dual Highway and taking 70 east and west back and forth from Silver Spring to Washington County. And I miss those days. Those days were good.
Reminiscent. I like that.
Mark specifically asked for this, by the way.
Yeah, he did. He asked for it, and I gave him what he asked for.
Does Hagerstown have like a nickname like H-Town or something like that, or does it just go Hagerstown?
I've just heard Hagerstown.
Okay,
maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong.
We need to give it a little something.
I mean, if you guys know something, viewers.
The Hub City. There you go.
Hub City? Right. That's what they say?
Yeah, they say that sometimes.
When?
It's been. I've heard it a few times now that I just hit my mind. But yeah, they've called it the Hub City before.
I've been in Hagerstown way too long, and I did not hear that.
Well, you never lived there.
That's true. I didn't live there, but I worked there, and I spent a lot of time, so that equates to living.
Right.
I'm responsible for this conversation. I am Mark Hall, joined by Shanika Grimshaw, and of course Damon Matson. And happy Monday to all.
Happy Monday. How's everyone's weekend?
Woo! It was good. Caught up with some old friends and made the most of it. We trudged through the rainy weather on Saturday, which was quite interesting. But it was still a fun time either way. So that was good for me. How about you guys?
Yeah, I watched too much football. I had a chance. I know. Maybe you can never watch too much football, but I went out to dinner on Friday, and just had a good weekend. Kind of mixed it up a little bit.
Yeah,
there we go.
Football,
Shanika?
dinner. Yeah, that's great. Yeah, it sounds like. Well, look, Saturday it was really rainy, so didn't do too much. But I did catch up with some friends. I had brunch. And I was reluctant to mention I had brunch, but I did have brunch on Sunday. I still got you on the list, though.
I know,
Mark.
and I'm moving up the list. That's what my source tells me.
You are. That source is right.
How's that weather looking, though, Damon? It's a Monday. I think the sun is still out, so I think a little breezy up there, at least in Hagerstown. But how are things looking right now?
Yeah, still a little breezy and chilly. A little bit better, though, compared to yesterday. And sorry, sidebar, Mark, you got more football to watch tonight. We'll talk about that later, of course. But hey, yeah, the cold air certainly returned over the weekend for us. It was an interesting ride. We've already mentioned it. Saturday was just all about that steady, soaking rainfall. We got a healthy dose of it across the area. Of course, these are the rainfall totals from the last 3 days, but most of this did come down on Saturday, and check it out. We had over a half an inch up across western north central Maryland, and then as you approached D.C., went down into northern Virginia and even southern Maryland at that. An inch to around 1.75 inches fell across a good chunk of the area, so it was a soggy one on Saturday, followed up by the drier air that was rushed on in by some gusty winds, and those winds also brought in the chillier temperatures. Now, unlike yesterday, when we were seeing pretty consistent gusts up around 35, 40 miles an hour across the area, it is calming down. We're only experiencing occasional gusts of 20 to 25 miles per hour up near Hagerstown, out toward the mountains, but the rest of the DMV, it is certainly a calmer setup for the day today, and that is going to help it feel a little bit less cold, but it's still going to be a chilly one out there. Mostly sunny skies are on tap the rest of the day, but we'll have temperatures reaching back into the middle and upper 40s. So all in all, yeah, we need those jackets again, but it's going to be a seasonably chilly, beautiful day across the region. Now, as we head toward the middle of the week, are we about to gear up for our next storm system? And if so, what kind of precipitation could that one bring? We'll have a full look at the forecast coming up here in just a little bit. But Mark and Shanika, you may have noticed that chillier air made its return because yesterday that wind was howling and we could feel it for sure.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Well, hey, but that heater was working again last night.
Oh,
and, but we'll get through it. We've been through this before, right?
Well, I mean, this is definitely not the coldest we've been this season, so I think small little things, right? Small little things.
All right, Damon, thank you so very much.
Yep.
All right, Mark. We have some top stories today. ICE rallies held in our area. Across the country, people here protesting against ICE after the deadly shooting of Renee Good in Minneapolis, and some of the protests happening across the DMV this weekend. What you're seeing here is a protest in Hyattsville on Sunday. You're seeing a lot of people, a big turnout there.
Absolutely, and Virginia Congressman Suma Brahman led a candlelight vigil at the Leesburg Town Hall last night, and there he called on the resignation of the Secretary of Homeland Security, Kristi Noem. This has been a lightning rod issue, Shanika, no surprise. But when you have video of what happened, then it's now subject to interpretation. We've all seen the video. Is it being politicized? I think it's almost impossible for it not to be politicized. But I think what you do have is video of what happened, and you can interpret it as you see with your two eyes.
Yes. Lots of people are again commenting. I mentioned that last week, and still people on social media really just weighing in on what they saw and what their interpretation is, and it's just really interesting how you'll see one side versus the other.
Yeah.
It's the same video.
The same video.
Your perspectives are so different. We're all different. We're all, that's what makes us human beings, right? We all have different opinions. And
I think you wonder, though, do politics and ideology drive your perspective? Because like you said, you see the video, and maybe you and I may see it differently. Like January 6th, you see the video. Is there really a different interpretation of what actually has taken place? Yeah. Maybe, with respect to the shooting in Minneapolis, maybe, there are two different perspectives, that are legitimate. So it's going to play out. It's going to continue to be an issue. It's going to continue to be a talker. It's going to continue to be a political hot button, a lightning rod. And we'll just see how this thing plays out.
Yeah, they say there's always three sides of the story, right? Yours, mine, and the truth.
And the truth.
Yes, and when we're talking about a life involved, that is something serious. So we definitely need to get back and down to the truth. All right, let's talk about the district. They had a rally outside of ICE headquarters as well. They were calling for ICE to leave the community and take accountability. So that is just another one of a lot of those protests. So you could see there lots of people joining to walk down the streets and hold up signs. You can see those signs. Some say abolish ICE, defund ICE, and all of that. So yeah, they're definitely looking for accountability there. Let's move along to a driver accused of hitting and killing a D.C. police officer on I-695. That was in December. He's being held without bond. The suspect, Gerald Coates, made his first court appearance on Saturday in the U.S. D.C. Attorney's Office. D.C. Attorney's Office says the judge found probable cause that Coates committed the offense of second-degree murder while armed.
Yeah, Officer Terry Bennett, Shanika, he was responding to a vehicle crash. Court documents say that when Coates allegedly slammed his car into Bennett while trying to swerve around slower traffic, the impact sent Bennett more than 22 feet in the air. Documents say that Coates may have been driving under the influence. Ballou High School will be honoring or holding a vigil tonight for Officer Bennett. That is where he attended school and was also an assistant football coach there.
Yeah, very, very sad story. Developing now, the Federal Reserve Chair says the Department of Justice threatened a criminal investigation after remarks he'd made to the U.S. Senate. Fed Chair Jerome Powell appeared in a video on social media. You could see that right here. And that was last night, posted by the Federal Reserve, alleging the DOJ served grand jury subpoenas the Fed on Friday. And that was over his testimony to the Senate Banking Committee last June. Now, his testimony included information surrounding ongoing renovations to Federal Reserve office buildings. And Powell says he thinks the threat of being charged is actually over the Fed's latest decision on interest rates, and one that counters President Trump's preference. Take a listen.
The threat of criminal charges is a consequence of the Federal Reserve setting interest rates based on our best assessment of what will serve the public, rather than following the preferences of the president. This is about whether the Fed will be able to continue to set interest rates based on evidence and economic conditions, or whether instead monetary policy will be directed by political pressure or intimidation.
Yeah, that was Jerome Powell there, as you just saw. He says he'll continue to stay on as Federal Reserve Chair with a commitment to serve Americans.
Let's talk about women's basketball in Maryland. Those Maryland Terrapins. Wait a minute,
I am a Terp.
That's right, you're a Terp. Hey, the Maryland's women's basketball team losing their second game this season. The number 8 team lost to number 19 Ohio State, 89-76 yesterday in College Park. They head to Southern California to face USC this coming Thursday. Lady Terps are good. They're a good basketball team. You know, Shanique, you're not going to win every game.
No, you can't win every game. I'm proud of them.
Yeah, but, you know, they're going to head out to USC, and hopefully they can come back with a big win and get back in their winning ways. So, anyway,